Namaste and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. I'm Anand Narsuman. It's the Karnataka conversion bill that's the subject matter of debate number one. But before that, ladies and gentlemen, there is something that's brewing in the neighborhood which should concern all of us. The fanatics seem to be having a free run, and this is happening just kilometers away from the seat of government in Islamabad in Pakistan. These are the visuals that are coming through, and it is a cause for concern. CNN News 18 mega exclusive. First up, this is another case of rising extremism in Pakistan's federal capital, with Pak security forces shown up as helpless against the fanatics, these extremist elements led by Maulana Aziz, who today occupied Lal Masjid once again. This is just 3 kilometers from the Prime Minister's office in Islamabad that this has happened, at about 200 people. It was a siege of Lal Masjid by gunmen, teenagers, minors, all of them, 200 plus, led by this Imam Abdul Aziz. And this is a former Khatib. Abdul Aziz is the former Khatib of Lal Masjid. He has gone there and occupied this place once again. The visuals, very, very dramatic, ladies and gentlemen. Have a look at what is going on. Men, women, everybody carrying out and coming out. And this is Maulana Aziz Ghazi with his supporters demanding implementation of Islamic law. Sources say that he, along with 200 children, gunmen and his supporters, along with equipment and beds in 3 vehicles, reached Lal Masjid, and this happened day before yesterday on the 13th. This entire mosque was vacated after negotiations with senior cops. He occupied that place. They were armed to the teeth, and they were also ready to use force. This is what happened there. The cops also standing there, and look at that. Youngsters, minors with sticks and lathis standing there. This is 3 kilometers from Islamabad. These are the visuals that are coming through. So fanatics having a free run. Fanatics having a free run, ladies and gentlemen, in Pakistan. Pathikrit Pine with us. Pathikrit, Lal Masjid was the same place where just a few days ago we showed videos of how women were being taught to behead. They were being coached. They were being indoctrinated, radicalized, but more importantly, they had knives with them and dummies, and they were being taught how to butcher somebody. The same place under this man.
Anand, you're absolutely right. And if you remember what happened in 2007, that was the same place where the Lal Masjid siege happened. See, these are the epicenters of radicalization in Pakistan, which has been mentored, incubated, funded for a long time by the ISI itself. So frankly, what is happening in the larger context is this. When you talk about Tehreek-e-Taliban or the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Labbaik or the Lal Masjid, these are the organizations for a long time have been financed by Pakistan. Today, Pakistan is imploding from inside for a simple reason, that Pakistan was never a sustainable economy. It has always was bankrolled either by the West or by the Chinese. Today, both the sides have actually pulled their strings, and today Pakistan literally has no money, and that's the reason these serpents have today become Frankenstein. Let me tell you one thing, whether it is the Tehreek-e-Taliban or the Lal Masjid, they all have huge grievance against the establishment and the deep state of Pakistan, because all of them think that when there was a time when Pakistan used them, and when the other opportunity came, they actually, Pakistan actually dumped them and used force against them on the behest of somebody else. In case of Lal Masjid, there were allegations and strong evidence of involvement or connection with Al-Qaeda. Tehreek-e-Taliban and the bombing and the drone attack on Tehreek-e-Taliban in Fata region by the Americans with help of Pakistan is all too well known. Pakistan Tehreek-e-Labbaik is an organization which has huge following today. So frankly speaking, today Pakistan is actually, reaping the harvest of the radicalization, which for a long time it has channelized towards other countries, because it's always had the money to actually keep it suppressed within its own country. Today the money is gone, and that's the reason why these serpents, these creatures have actually become turned Frankenstein, and actually they're looking for an opportunity to engulf and completely do away with the state of Pakistan. None of them believe in the state of Pakistan or the idea of Pakistan. Anand, they actually believe in Sharia law. They believe in something else, a caliphate or an emirate that they want to create out of Pakistan. And so the deep state of Pakistan is in deep trouble today because they are not in a position to fight or control the serpents which on behalf of the deep state of Pakistan and Pakistan army all these years were fighting. But today they have taken up the arms against an army which is extremely reluctant to fight it out because they have not the money and they have always been businessmen. Pakistan army was never interested in fighting it out, be it against India or elsewhere. It has always been just mentoring. Today they are not in a position to fight. Floods have actually exposed the dark skeletons of Pakistan and what can actually happen if you indoctrinate in this manner and you don't have the money.
This is a state-owned masjid. And he believes that he should be the khatib or the sermon giver on this masjid, so that's why he's occupied it. And the cops did not know what to do because some of these people, these minors, teenagers, they were armed with SMGs, semi-automatic guns.
Two reasons for this. Number one, there is a place called Dera Adam Khil in Pakistan where you can get the best of the replica of the most sophisticated weapons. Secondly, the money, the weapon systems that the Americans dumped in Afghanistan, a part of it actually came into Pakistan. Third, a very important reason for this, this incapacitation of Pakistan's security forces is primarily because most of them actually don't think that these Lal Masjid or Pakistan Tehrik-e-Labbaik is doing anything wrong. The reason is this: they have radicalized their security forces to fight against India to such extent that today those who are even talking against Pakistan state and talking about taking up arms against the Pakistan state, they have the tacit support perhaps of the foot soldier of Pakistan army who thinks, and you remember, I repeat once more, the Salman Taseer incident where his security guard Mumtaz Qadri actually shot him and he was actually given a hero's welcome. Mumtaz Qadri was given a hero's welcome because for the most of the people of Pakistan, they don't think that Mumtaz Qadri by killing Salman Taseer, who was talking against the blasphemy law, was doing anything wrong. So frankly speaking today, part of the incapacitation is there is reluctance to fight against the state of Pakistan, which is perhaps not even paying salaries because they are also fed up with the inflation. At the same time, ideologically, they don't think these organizations like the Tehrik-e-Taliban or the Lal Masjid guys are doing anything wrong because they believe they're in congruence with what the Lal Masjid believe. Perhaps some of them have actually joined the security forces after graduating from Lal Masjid.
No, huge issue of and in terms of fanatics having a free run. You've had Altaf Hussain group coming back in Karachi, Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan back in the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa region. You have the Tehrik-e-Labbaik is now in Punjab. It's taken control, and now this guy Abdul Aziz running rampant there on the streets of Islamabad, trying to surround and lay siege to a state-owned masjid. It's a state-owned masjid. 2 days the cops did not know what to do. And finally they've tried to negotiate with him and they've all moved away. But he's threatening to come back, saying that you need to give me control of this place. This is the same place where we showed you visuals of women being taught how to butcher. Sar Tan Se Juda slogans were being chanted and they were being taught how to butcher. This is the same Lal Masjid, state-owned masjid in Islamabad, 3 kilometers from Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif's residence. Pathikrit Payan, thank you for your inputs. Moving on here on the right stand to the big story that's coming in from Karnataka, where after a huge amount of drama and hangama and over the rise, and because on account of rising concerns over forcible religious conversion in the state, the Karnataka government has pushed through with the anti-conversion bill. That's the big news that's coming through. The Karnataka Legislative Council has passed the anti-conversion bill. The bill has been passed in the assembly earlier, but wasn't tabled in the council since the BJP didn't enjoy majority. The Congress walked out of the house. Leader opposition in the upper house, B.K. Hariprasad, actually tore the bill after opposing it. There was a huge amount of hangama, but now the bill has been passed despite the BJP not having majority. The leader opposition tearing up the bill, but the bill has finally been passed through. This was because earlier in the day, the Minority Commission also put out a report which said that the instances of forced conversion need to be clubbed and they need to be curbed, and it has to be done with a hard hand. Harish now joins us with more details. Harish, huge amount of drama through the day.
Absolutely. We've seen some heated exchanges between the Home Minister, B.K. Hariprasad, the leader of opposition in the upper house, the JDS too, voicing similar concerns like the ones that have been put out by the Congress. But finally, the BJP, which has recently acquired simple majority in the upper house managed to get this bill passed. Remember, this was passed last December in the assembly, but the BJP then did not have the numbers in the upper house in the council, further which it passed an ordinance. Now it has managed to successfully pass it through the upper house without any changes, without any amendments. So which means now it will go to the governor, and there will be, the BJP would be hoping that the asset comes as soon as possible. There were 2-3 crucial points made by the opposition saying that it infringes on some crucial fundamental rights, including the fundamental right to privacy, and enables vigilante groups. The state assuring the opposition saying that the local administration and the police would be told that no groups should be encouraged to misuse this law, and it would be used only for the purpose of ensuring that nobody converts for gain or is not lured into conversion with any sort of cash or gold or any such allurement.
Was there any allegation made or charge made that this law that's been passed is actually bad in law? Is there a possibility that it could be challenged in court?
Well, that is something that is likely to happen. There have been certain concerns expressed by legal experts as well, pointing out that at least 2-3 aspects of this law. For example, it allows a colleague, a neighbor, a friend to complain if someone converts and raises suspicion of conversion for gain. Also, it allows sweeping powers for local administration, and the fact that the details are put out on the notice board for a very long time, many believe also infringes on the right to privacy. So this perhaps will get challenged in the Karnataka High Court in the coming few weeks.
Well, but if it is violative of the fundamental principles and the fundamental rights, then how does the law protect? The law will have to protect. That's the counter argument. Harish, thank you for your inputs. Let's try and understand what this anti-conversion law entails. Now, this is what the background is. There were 36 reported cases of forceful religious conversions between 2016 and 2021. It was a rising malaise that was felt within society. It's come from as a reflection of society. The government has not just one day woken up and said, let's pass this law. May 22nd, Kodagu, Kerala-based pastor couple had also been arrested because they were actually allegedly forcing over 1,000 Hindu Adivasis to convert. So this game was being played. The conversion mafia was at play. 40% churches remain unofficial is what a government survey is saying. Organized conversion is being carried out by missionary groups in rural areas. This is also a government survey. Love Jihad tremors, they have come through. There is a spurt in forced conversion cases that's been filed in Mangaluru and in Udupi. Demographic shift, Christian population going up from 3% to going up to 3% from 0.5%. This is what a Karnataka BJP leader has alleged. So clearly there is something that's happening. And of course, long in the works, also mooted by the Siddaramaiah cabinet back in 2016. But at that time, they had not pushed through this law itself. So clearly, society giving feedback that this law needs to come into place. But is it the right move by the Bommai government is what we ask. Let's dive into the debate straight up. Our guests are ready. Anti-conversion law is the hashtag. Tweet about it, coo about it. Tell us what you think. Engage with us here on The Right Stand here at CNN News 18. Dr. Vaman Acharya, Senior Spokesperson, Karnataka BJP with us. Sanket Yenagi, Spokesperson and lawyer with us, Spokesperson of the KPCC. Syed Asad Abbas, Political Analyst, and Dushyant Sridhar, Vedic Speaker and Writer with us this evening. Namaste to everybody. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Huge amount of drama. Sanket Yenagi, what was the need for B.K. Hariprasad to tear the bill in Parliament? Is it all part of the political theatrics, or does the Congress have a serious problem with this bill? Because, like I said, Mr. Siddaramaiah had also mooted the same, made the same suggestion back in 2016.
Right to marry is a fundamental right flowing from Article 21 of the Constitution, which deals with the right to live with a person, right to life and personal liberty. No person shall be deprived of his life and personal liberty except in accordance with law. So, in a sense, everyone is free to marry the person of his own choice. And Article 19 also deals with the freedom. Freedom includes the freedom to marry a person of his own choice. The question is now, if it is a marriage by compulsion, if it is a marriage by inducement, if it is a marriage by misrepresentation, if it is a marriage by fraudulent usage of the force, criminal force, or by cheating, that's automatically attracted under the penal provisions which are available already under the IPC. So the question now is, why a separate legislation is required since the data does not reveal any of the conversion, forcible conversion in the state of Karnataka? the cases may be available in the state of Uttar Pradesh or Kerala or some other state in the part of the country. Does that mean that the Karnataka has to have its own law for this? Since there is no necessity as such, and since the data
But
is
the data
unavailable
shows,
in the
Mr.
state of
Yanagi,
Karnataka,
the data shows that there are at least 36 reported cases which have come to the fore between 2016 and 2021. So, and there have been couples who've been, pastor couple was arrested. We put out all the data, we put out all the details as to why that there is a problem on ground, which has been concerns have been raised. And it's not a recent phenomenon. If Siddaramaiah can talk about it in 2016, you know that this is something which is happening in society. A lot of politicians have to respond to what's happening in their constituency. Their
So
political
there is
fight with
already
political
law
parties
in
aside.
the question is there is already a law in force. Why a separate legislation is required? Number one. Number two, is it not coming in the way of someone's right to marry or freedom of an individual to have his own choice of an individual?
No, how
to
is
marry?
it? Okay.
So it's another question which is debatable, and it is directly or indirectly taking away the fundamental right under the Constitution. That is why we have opposed it. It is not for any political gains, because it is, since it is amounting to infringement of one's fundamental right of freedom. So we have opposed it.
How is it? Okay. Let Dr. Vamanacharya respond. Dr. Vamanacharya, does this law infringe upon somebody's fundamental right to freedom? Or does it protect somebody's fundamental right to not be induced, not be cheated, not be fraudulently converted?
Yes. The bill itself is called Right to Freedom of Religion. The bill itself is called. So, there is no question of going into anybody's personal belief of God or religion. The question only is, if there are conversions, especially mass conversions, on fraudulent grounds, where people are not aware of what is happening. Recently, you may wonder, one minister from Chitradurga district had reported in the house itself that his mother was converted without anybody knowing in his family, a minister. If this is the case, what could happen to millions of people who are poor, who are in need of medical help, who need some support, and that situation is being misused. This is one. Second is, you can marry anybody, yes, there is no problem in it. But in the name of love jihad, make a love with a Hindu girl and take her away, get her married and convert. Then what happens? God only knows. These are the problems that are there in the society, and this bill has already been passed in lower house, that is assembly. Then now Vidhan Parishad, that is upper house, is going into a detailed discussion. As you have rightly noted, that we now have sufficient majority. Majority needed is 38, now we are 41, and we may add 1 or 2. So in this situation, it was needed in Karnataka that a safeguard is needed. From 3 years to 10 years is the imprisonment if fraudulently somebody converts them by giving money or telling lie or forcing them, making these marriage offers. All such things will be banned. If everything is okay, if Christians and Muslims and other communities are not doing bad, why should they fear? The law will not change their fundamental
Here is the concern, Dr. Vamanacharya. The concern is that you have allowed a neighbor or third person or somebody else to come out and complain that there is an activity like conversion. That's one of the concerns that's been raised. So it is possible that a girl may decide or a boy may decide that he wants to marry a girl or marry somebody, and somebody within the family, like a brother, the father, mother, uncle, aunt, somebody may come out and complain, oh, this is forced, this is induced, this is conversion. What happens there?
That provision also is there. Plus, if somebody knows that such a fraudulent thing is happening, even citizens have a right to do it, because the neighborhood, the other members of the society are equally important in the society. If they report to the nearest police station that such a thing is happening, it is recognized and it's a cognizable offense. They will be arrested immediately. So in this situation, nobody should worry and fear. This law has already been passed in assembly, where it has very clearly said that you may have to give a 30 days notice, so that everybody is aware. If you are free and frank, if somebody wants to marry a person from other religion, you just have to notify. go and tell it to the Tahsildar or local revenue officer that you are doing so and so. If there are no objections, you can as well go ahead. Why this came is because of the history of frauds that were happening so far. It is not that we want to prohibit some religious activities or people mingling each other both by religion, by marriage or being together. There is nothing wrong in all these things. Only fraud should not happen. This is a very, very honest,
so the idea is to stop fraud and
thinking.
somewhere are we looking at it from a myopic prism when we just limit it to marriage, courtship, etc., Dushyant Sridhar? Or is it the fact that there are others who may come out and say that the constitution allows you and me or anybody to propagate our religion, practice our faith, but it does not give us the right to talk down another faith or talk down another religion? So if in the case of the Adivasis, as this pastor couple was called, they were actually telling the Adivasis that your current faith is not good. You have to actually come, and this is where in the case reports that they came out and said that what you are following is wrong, only our way is the right way. That is illegal. You come and follow and come to the church, and that's when you will get miracles will happen. Drink this water, your fever will go away. Mixed with paracetamol, your fever will go away. Miracle, magic will happen. Your poverty will go away. You will get respect in society. You are not getting any respect and your current religion is useless. This is the language that is used. Now, is this legal or illegal? And should there be protection against such an act or not?
Yeah. Namaskaram Anand and namaskaram to my fellow panelists. Three quick points that I would like to make. First point, this bill is just not the need of Karnataka, but I feel this should be the need of our country as well. At one point in time, we should be able to say to people that there is no prohibition for you to practice your own religion and to convert to the other religion, but this bill is about forcible conversion, just not conversion, forcible conversion. Second point, Anand, on a very, very broad note, today we know of Islam, Christianity and Hinduism, which comprises three large religions of the world. Of course, we have Buddhism, Jainism, Sikhism and so on. But there were many, many religions that existed before the advent of Islam and Christianity, Anand. So they were all part of very, very prominent and thriving civilizations such as Egyptian civilization. There was a very prominent religion in Iran as well, and then there was a religion in the European continent as well. Most religions have vanished. They have become extinct without leaving any traces but the pyramids and the mummies today. So as a living civilization, as one of the ancient civilizations in the world, it is also our duty. People should rise above partisan politics and should protect this civilization, because we have seen that the demographics have changed with respect to religion in different pockets of the country. I am not completely blaming on the evangelist mentality of certain religions. Maybe some of the people who have got converted would have found the tenets of the religion really enterprising. But also we must agree that there have been forcible conversions, not just in Karnataka, but many, many states of the South India. If somebody rejects to accept this truth, then they are living in their own la-la land. So they should accept that there have been forcible conversions happening. So be it conversion from one religion to the other. My third quick point is, Anand, first of all, why do I need to convert to another religion? So if I believe that the Lord is going to protect me only if I accept, let's say, Hinduism or Christianity or Islam, isn't the Lord playing a bit politics than the politicians in this world? So that is one of my sub-questions to it. And second question, if I believe that I have to serve my society by offering medical need to the poor, educational needs to the poor, why can't I just be a normal human being and offer the other person? Why should I ask him to convert to my religion and do it? Aren't we being business-like and very, very petty men business-like in this honor? So in my quick opinion, Anand, this bill is the need of the hour. And we have known of instances in the past in the celebrity couples where if the man has one wife, the lady who wishes to marry the married man goes to one religion that allows polygamy, converts to that religion, gets married and then comes back to Hinduism. All this is not good for even for such religions, even for religions that come from the West. It won't hold good when people convert to their religion for purposes such as marriage and inheritance. No. So a religion should be
because
followed
that's
only
misuse
for the
of the
true
tenets.
love of the tenets of that religion.
Yeah, it's misuse of the tenets
Exactly.
because
So I believe
polygamy
any
also has
religion-
been allowed.
Any religion, Anand,
Polygamy has been allowed not because you can take multiple wives, but at a time when there was a dearth of men because of the crusades, the idea was that a man can support multiple women who do not have anybody to support. So that's where the whole idea came, that it's being misused, and a
Absolutely.
lot
Now
of our
there's no
practices
dearth of- now
across
there's
across
no dearth
religions,
of men.
across religions
True,
or faiths
true.
or personal
True,
faiths,
I
there are
agree,
a lot
I
of
agree.
practices
Dasharatha had
which are
many
being
wives.
misused. Look at the Varna system. The Varna system has evolved into a caste system, which is Varna was by Guna and Karma. It has evolved by birth. It has been turned to by birth. The biggest misuse which has happened. But that Varna system doesn't exist only in Hinduism. It exists even in Christians, because there is Dalit Christian which is happening. It exists in Islam also, because the Pashmanda Muslims and the Sayyids, there are differences which are there across the board. So this elitism is a human issue. But I am coming back to this fact, Syed Asad Abbas, that if you are not doing anything wrong, you don't need to bother about the law. You are going to oppose a law only if you are doing something wrong. It's like a traffic signal. You follow the signal, nobody is going to catch you. You break the signal, you will get caught. If you oppose saying, don't find me for breaking the signal, that means you want to break the signal.
Absolutely, Anand. As a matter of fact, let us look at this. Karnataka, protection of freedom of religion. The fact of the matter, Anand, the idea is great, but execution is everything. The question lies in the implementation here. First things first, what does Islam say with respect to forceful conversion? Lakum dinukum waliya deen. Hamara deen hamare saath, aapka deen aapke saath. To me is my religion, to you is your religion. In Islam, any form of forceful conversion will be haram, that is forbidden, null and void. Now coming straight to the point. Anand Saab, the fact of the matter, over the last 5 years, we have seen 36 such reported cases, as BJP claims in Karnataka as well. The fact of the matter, forceful conversion must be stopped. But isn't there already a bill? Isn't there already 3 to 5 years of imprisonment fine as well? The fact of the matter, okay, if you want to present this, table this, pass this, okay. But let us look at the bad implementation of it. How are they going to impose? Just 2 days back, there was a couple in Chikmagalur who had the consent of their respective parents on both the sides. The boy was a Muslim, the girl was a Hindu. This was touted to be love jihad. Bajrang Dal activists coming along, harassing them. The police had to intervene and resolve this matter. If Bharatiya Janata Party wants to bring this, I think forceful conversion by Islam, Christian, Muslims, or any respective religious body must not be allowed. If somebody chooses to, well and good, it is their decree. But forceful, absolutely not. But the question here is, idea is great, execution is everything.
Correct,
How
but
is
the
Bharatiya Janata Party going to
the
execute
same
this?
aspect of idea is great, execution is questionable. It also applies to Islam, because if you are saying your faith is your faith, my faith is mine, then tabligh is mandated. On the basis of tabligh is what Shaukat Ali turned around and said that we will continue to push for the Khilafat movement and will continue to look at Aluma. This was what the conversation Veer Savarkar had with Shaukat Ali, sir. It is there in Dr. Vikram Sampat's book. That the other fact is put to the sword. The Mopla massacre happened by put to the sword. Why Tipu Sultan's culling of it all happened by the sword, sir. It all happened by the sword. I'm saying no religion says disrespect another, but the interpretation changes. The implementation issue is the big one. Implementation is the big one. Proselytization groups which are doing it all across the coastal lines, what they are doing, what they have done in the northeast is what have they done? They have turned around and said what your faith is wrong. This miracle group running this racket which is running in Punjab, which we have exposed here at CNN News 18, this is what they told. They said you convert and your child will heal. The child died. They said sorry, too bad. They also took 2.5 lakh rupees. We have case studies like that. So how do you give such people recourse? How do you give such people recourse?
Absolutely, Anand. Shaukat Ali does not respect Islam. So you cannot hold every wrong.
No, sir, but they are the ones who sowed the seed. They are the ones who sowed the seeds. They are the ones who sowed the seeds for Khilafat and partition. Khilafat in Turkey. Khilafat is what? The need for a Khalifa, the rule of Islamic State. I'm just saying, you may not do it, but that became the larger story. That became the largest story. That's what majority of the Muslims on this in British India voted for.
You need to allow me to answer you.
They voted for it. So I'm just saying, sir, what I'm trying to say is everybody has the right to practice, everybody has the right to propagate, nobody has the right to induce or push. Dr. Vamanacharya, implementation is a question. Now they are saying...
Just having a 1 minute. Allow me 10 seconds.
Okay, 10 seconds. 10 seconds and then I'll go to Dr. Vamanacharya and Sanket.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Shaukat Ali is absolutely no representation of Islam. The quote I gave you is from Quran. So therefore, go by Islam and Quran and not the so-called Muslims or Hindus.
My point is, sir, then if that is... No, Syed Asad Abbas, you come from a good place and I am not questioning you. I am questioning those who are not following the book, that is Quran, but they are looking at the Hadith and the Sharia, etc. and they are challenging hijab also in the Supreme Court. Who are they looking at the tenets of the Quran? Then if that is the case, they wouldn't have gone to the Supreme Court in the first place. The other thing is, sir, in Quran they say that we wouldn't have been fighting a legal battle on Gyanvapi if the tenets of the Quran had been honored. By every citizen, had the religious scriptures been honored. See, the Quran very clearly, sir, correct me if I'm wrong, it says, we are digressing. So I'm just saying the books, the scriptures say a lot of things, humanity corrupts it. What I'm saying is, in our country, we need laws so that this corruption is caught, this corruption of the rule of law, this corruption of the fundamental rights and principles is caught, and those people are punished. That's the protection that should happen. Misuse should not happen. I agree with you. Let Dr. Vamanacharya respond that the implementation is the one. It is going to have these groups, fringe groups, who will turn around at every wedding and call it love jihad. That's what he's saying. Who will turn around and say somebody who's willingly want to adopt another faith, they'll say, oh, you have been induced, you dare not do it. Dr. Vamanacharya, how are you going to stop them?
We have brought the law because you should have some support legally, and the nation should have a system where people who are wrongdoers have to be caught and punished. If you don't have a law itself, then how will you do? If there is a law, that does not mean, as you have rightly mentioned, if signals are there, it means that which is red, which is green, people should know. Same thing with law also. If people know what is correct and what is wrong legally, we have accepted that we are a secular country. All the laws in this country will be on secular theology basis only, not on any religious theologies. So on this point, if the laws are passed, then there are so many laws in India. People don't follow many things. There are many people in jail. Why? If everybody follows the law, nobody should be there.
Sir, let us stop confusing and debasing the word. Dr. Vamanacharya, with due respect, sir, the government is supposed to be secular. Bharata and Bharat people are dharmic. That means they believe that all panths, all faith are equal. Sarva dharma samabhava is what we follow.
Correct.
The government is supposed to be secular in its approach. That means it is equanimous, governance for all, appeasement for none. Sadly, the reverse is happening. And this word secular has been debased to such an extent that we should stop using it. It's not part of our lexicon in our country. It's been misused. Secular does not mean helping one community over the other. It is totally delinking religion from law or functioning of the state. And that came because, sir, the Catholics and the Protestants were saying who will control the king and who will have the ear of the king. That's where this entire history of word secular itself came. So let's correct ourselves. Let's not use this word and let's not debase it any further. In our country, sir, the dharma is the core principle. Dharma at various levels, Swadharma, Rajadharma, and at various levels, it also borders on duty. Let's stick to that because that's how everybody looks at it and we are inclined. But Sanket Janagi, let me ask you, if Adivasis are being lured, induced and being taken for a right royal ride and being converted brazenly, should there not be a law to protect that and to stop that? If Vanvasis are being misled? It's not just marriage, no?
There is a force which is leading this issue. Number two, let us see the repercussions of this law. Firstly, A and B who are adult, attain the age of majority and free to marry of their own choice. Getting married, they don't have objections against each other. Third party is being enabled to file complaint against them unnecessarily, number one, and to harass them.
But do you have a proof that this is how it is being done, or are you just creating it? If A and B get married, 1 year, 2 years after marriage, 2 years after marriage, after both of them have had an offspring, Mr. Yenagi, A tells B that if you want any more, if you want to be my partner, if you want to live in this house, you convert. You change your faith, change your religion, and the offspring will follow my faith and not yours. Is that fair? Is that forceful conversion or not then? Please let me ask you as a lawyer, what would you deem it as?
No, that's what I'm saying. Firstly, it is taking away one's freedom of choice because it is being propagated. See, if A and B are going to marry, both are married, and they want to place it, apply it before the deputy collector, concerned authority. That should be placed in the notice board. Why should intimate the general public unless they are having any referral?
No, I am asking you, Mr. Yenagi, as a lawyer, I am asking you, sir, I am A, there is B, A and B get married, we get married, we have an offspring. After some time, B turns around and tells me, if you want to live in this house, you have to convert. And the offspring will follow only my faith. You will follow my faith, the offspring will follow my faith, otherwise get out of here. Now, is this forced conversion? Is this inducement? Is this not impingement on my rights? Please tell me, what should I do? Which law applies to me? Where should I take recourse?
Whoever is having objections to this, whoever is having a grievance about the same is the person who has been converted. So long as the person who has been converted, who wished to convert, has no objection for it. And if he has been converted because of some inducement or force or coercion or whatever the case may be, he has an option to complain before the appropriate authority.
Who is the appropriate authority? In this case, who is the appropriate authority? In this case, which law applies? Will cheating apply? Will fraud apply? Or will forced conversion apply? If there is no forced conversion law, I will have to look at the root of cheating, fraud, coercion.
Number one, breach of trust is available under the aegis.
Correct.
Number two, using the criminal force is available under the aegis.
No, it's not. I have not used any force. How do I prove force?
So there is
I have not been violent. How do I prove force? If I am every day turning around and saying, change this idol will not be here, this photo will not be here, you have to wear this, you have to cover your head, you have to walk like this, you have to wear this, this is how you have to do, otherwise I will go and get another partner, otherwise you get out of my house, I will not give you maintenance, I will not take. So then what happens? Is this not conversion? Is this not forced conversion? If that is the case, which law applies if there is no anti-conversion bill?
Not the government to interfere in one's rights to marry or not to marry, or to marry of his
No, sir, I am asking you, two questions I asked you. If the Vanvasis are told that your faith is wrong, the Santals are told that what you are doing, who you are worshipping is wrong, that is a false god, you cannot do it. You have this magic water, that is water mixed with paracetamol, your fever will go away and that's a miracle. That's why you have to follow my God and you have to start coming to my place of worship and you have to break down your place of worship. What do I tell these Vanvasis? How do I support these Vanvasis and how do I say what's happening with you is inducement, what's happening with you is fraud and these people needed to be arrested? Should they be arrested for cheating or for a devious, malicious intent of converting somebody from their faith into their own?
Now the question is, specifically in a case of Adivasis, in the case of Adivasis, if there is an evidence available already,
Sir,
the authorities themselves can take cognizance of the matter and deal with it.
How do we do it? On what grounds? What grounds do I do it? What grounds? Tomorrow somebody will lock the doors and say, on what grounds have I done? I have not cheated anybody because I have not taken anything from them. I have not forced anybody. If I am making a suggestion to somebody, can I be pulled up?
Anand, let us be practical. The questions about it.
Sir,
Number one, why the other person would have a grievance so long as A and B have no objection to marry each other or for the conversion for the purpose of marriage? Number one. Number two, who are they to question it so long as they have a fundamental right? Number three, why would their marriage be disclosed or their
Sir, don't I have a fundamental right to be protected from these kind of agents who will force, induce, cheat, or somewhere draw me, lure me into with the, because they come with a devious intent that they want to increase their tribe and reduce mine? What's the protection? If I am not doing anything like that, then this law doesn't apply to me. So whether that law is there or not, how does it matter? I have to wind up. I leave you with that thought. I've run over time. I thank all our guests. We're going to take a very short break. When we come back, we turn the spotlight towards the SCO Summit in Samarkand, where in a short while from now, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will touch down. He's already en route. He's en route, Samarkand. The first time these leaders will meet face-to-face post-COVID-19. And at a time when Bharat is going to stake the claim to become the Vishwaguru, the fulcrum to bind this entire region and keep it together. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, touchdown Samarkand in a short while from now. Stay with us.